And I know Chris Aceto's, he's big on Rafael. I mean, Rafael gets in crazy conditions. Just is he going to have the density to compete with the top five?
Se você quer transformar o seu físico de verdade, mas não tem como pagar um nutricionista ou um coach, o Guia do Biotipo é o protocolo dietético de 8 semanas feito com base no seu perfil biológico individual. Ou seja, se você é um ectomorfo, endomorfo ou mesomorfo, lá você tem um cardápio com todos os macros, ciclo de carboidratos e até quanto cardio você precisa fazer de acordo com o seu perfil individual. Tudo isso feito exclusivamente para o seu biotipo. Você escolhe o guia de acordo com o seu biotipo e altura. É basicamente um coach por uma fração do valor. Centenas de pessoas já estão transformando seus físicos e, cara, aproveita antes que o valor suba. E se você é esse cara que sempre fica dando desculpinha, eu não sei como fazer uma dieta, eu não sei o que fazer, eu não sei como fazer, quando fazer, não entendo de treinamento, de nutrição, com o Guia do Biotipo não tem desculpa. É simplesmente você seguir o que está no plano que o seu físico vai transformar. E caso você não goste, você pode sim pedir o seu reembolso, não tem problema nenhum. Então, cara, deixa de desculpinha e transforma o seu físico de verdade. O link vai estar na descrição e no primeiro comentário fixado.
We have the Arnold coming up, right?
Yep. We have the Arnoldclassic.
So the list has been announced. Let's pull that up. And we're going to focus on the men's open bodybuilding because, I won this show 3 times.
You're the only person ever win it 3 times
consecutively
in a row.
Yeah.
And I just heard someone say this the other day. So Brandoncurry won it in 2019, the Arnold, and he won the Olympia.
So did Dexter Jackson.
He won them both in the same year.
Yes.
Now, Brandon, if he comes back, if he wins it this year and potentially wins it, he would have done that twice, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Someone could win it. So go ahead and, they have them in alphabetical order. I don't know if you want to talk about each guy, like what you think their chances are of.
Now, I'll talk about like the front runners of this contest. So we have, Bonnick, who's a former champion. We have Brandoncurry, who's a former champion. And we have Cedric, who's a former champion, right?
Three former champions.
3 former champs in this lineup, but we have a hell of a lineup around them.
Yes.
Regan, who's training out of here. Steve Cutler, who, I was disappointed didn't get in there. Nathan DeAsher's coming. I didn't know he was.
He's got nine pro wins.
I mean, Samson had a great showing last year. Max Charles, he's been getting shredded lately. RafaelBrandao, he's like Brazil's favorite.
Akeem Williams.
Yeah, I don't know who Fabio.
I believe he's the guy that won the amateur.
Okay,
he's coming in. He got it in.
Yeah, Justin Rodriguez. He's huge right now. I saw it. He's a guy we talked about here with his shape. Mm-hmm. Shaban. He's been running up there with these guys. Brett Wilkin is in this conversation. Akeem Williams. Mm-hmm. Akeem Williams has been. He's been a front runner in this contest.
When I look at this, to me, Brandon's.
He's the most decorated guy on this roster.
He won it in 2019.
Yeah.
He won the Olympia in 2019. And ever since then, he's been second at the Olympia. So he would naturally be the front runner.
Yeah, but Bonnick's beat him, and he's been second at the Olympia. And I know his placings lately don't showcase what his potential is. Mm-hmm. But, he's very, very round. And, and then you have Cedric, who if he puts it together, which he has not, it seems like lately. Mm-hmm. He beat Kai
He beat
Green,
all those guys.
Yeah, he beat everyone. And, I'm curious to see, though, like what a Justin Rodriguez with some rest, Brett Wilkins, Akeem, if Akeem gets back to form, Kuklo, we haven't seen.
He gets in crazy
shape.
And
Nathan next to these guys, like, and man, and we know Regan, what he's doing over here, and we think that he could be potentially in the mix. This is a tough lineup, man, like a very close lineup. Like, I can't sit here and say this guy's definitely going to win. If you had like, a Phil Heath in there, or you had, like a Dennis Wolf or a Sean Roden, or I'm just going back to the past. Those guys, you kind of knew that they were going to be the ones, right? Mm-hmm. But this is really tough. I would assume Brandoncurry's coming for blood for this show.
Yes. Of course, because he's gotten second the last 2 years. And, he beat Phil 2 years ago, and he was right there toe-to-toe with Rami this last year.
So tell me something. They're doing the prejudging on Friday.
Yeah. They're going
to make them right?
I think. Yes, if I remember
that's
correctly.
That's what I saw. I think I saw the schedule, and I thought I saw Friday prejudging.
They're going to do Friday prejudging, and they're going to hold it up overnight.
Okay.
So it's going to be I mean, there isn't like a outside of, you know, probably the Brazilian guy, Fabio, that's new. There's nobody up there that's like a weak person. Every one of them is a contender in the I think
realistically, if everyone is at their all-time best on this stage of all the bodies, who wins? I know who I pick.
All-time best?
Yeah.
Cedric.
You're right. I picked the same.
If he's at his all-time best.
Because it's structure, right?
Yeah. He's yes. And it's the Arnold too. And and that type of physique seems to do
They
better.
judge the posing round here a little deeper.
If it's their all-time best, I think it's a runaway for Cedric. But you know, who knows? You know, we always know this. Any show that you go into, there's only going to be one or two people that are in really good shape.
Who has the best momentum in this lineup? Brandoncurry.
Brandon, yeah.
Second at the Olympia.
Yep. Second at the, I mean, look at it. I mean, outside of, since he's the last
I know
3
Nathan
years,
won 2 or 3 shows. I mean, I know Samson won lately.
I would say I think this is going to be one of these shows where, unlike the Arnold last year where there was a couple guys who are in really good shape, there's a lot of people in this lineup that are known for coming in shape. So I have a feeling you're going to see like a top 6 where they're all in really, really good shape.
Can Regan hang with these guys?
Yes, I believe he can. You know, Regan, obviously, you know, he's staying with me right now, and the transformation that he's making now,
You're seeing it on a daily
he's
basis.
he's about just shy of 290.
When are we going to?
You know, he's just shy of 290, and he's relatively lean. And
How many weeks is it? 10 weeks now?
About 10 weeks out, or 10 or 11 right in there. So, you know, look, I think he still has to prove himself against a tougher lineup, because when he has done the tougher lineups, he hasn't fared well in the past. But I think with what he has going on with Milos, the training, the diet, different now, a different mindset going into it, I think we'll see the best Regan that he can be at this point. Will it be enough? We'll find out.
Yeah, but he seems to be getting better, man. He really came on, like, we talked about that. I don't want to beat a dead horse. But, Steve Cutler, where is he going to face in this lineup?
If he's in shape, he's going to be right in the mix.
Yeah.
But the problem is a lot of times he doesn't get that crazy condition.
We haven't seen Nathan stand in these crowds much in the last few years because of restrictions. So I know him and Samson traded places last year at a couple of contests.
Nathan beat Samson.
Yeah, but then Samson beat him, right?
Yeah, he beat him twice this year, and then Nathan came in a little off, and Samson beat him and Regan and Raphael.
But, Justin's, again, the sleeper in this lineup where, the shape.
We said he was a sleeper last year.
Yeah.
And he looked crazy this last year.
And I know Chris Aceto's, he's big on Raphael. I mean, Raphael gets in crazy conditions. Just is he going to have the density to compete with the top?
If all these guys are in really good shape, I think it's going to be a
talk a little bit